Virgo. Welcome to Misfits of the Zodiac. I'm so excited to be doing my very first monthly video for you guys for the month of July. So this will be good for the entire month of July. Welcome, Misfits. I am Ace. I will be using the Green Witch Tarot. That being said, I wanted to give a quick announcement. I don't know that I'll be doing this every single time, but just to let you know, I am a practicing witch, so there might be some witchy kind of elements that come within these readings, and if that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's fine, but this is probably not the channel for you. So I just want to say that up front so that you are aware. If you are cool with that, then welcome. I would love to have you come and hang out with us and start to build this channel. I'm super excited about it. Before I get started in your reading, I'm going to start with some downloads, I call them. So before I start, I usually do some meditation before each reading for each of the signs. And I write down anything that comes up. And I thought it was really interesting. You got two animals. Sometimes I get animals. I work a lot with animal symbolism. So, but the fact that you got two was really interesting, and they're very different animals. And then you have one other. So we had three different things come in. Your first thing was the buck, so like a deer. And I kind of felt like, for a lot of cultures, the deer is a representation of like wisdom gained. Their antlers are a symbol that they have matured. And it can also mean that they're over time, because the antlers are like facing up towards the sky, it's usually like it can be a symbolic way of expressing gained knowledge or gained wisdom. And that was the vibe that I got from this. It can also sometimes mean just standing your ground. But we're going to go into the animal spirit guide in a moment, and I'm going to read what Stag has to offer. You also got the eel, which I thought was really interesting. I saw an eel in the water. At first I couldn't really tell what it was, and then it came into focus and it was an eel. So I don't know a whole lot about that particular animal, to be honest with you. I work with a lot of other animals. That is not one that I'm familiar with. So we will definitely have to check in with the animal spirit guides for that. And the last thing that I got was lined paper with a pen that was like facing down. Like no one was writing or anything, but the pen was down. So that might just be, you know, maybe you're thinking about doing some creative writing. Maybe you are in the middle of school, if that resonates with you. But the vibe that I got right away was journaling. I know that journaling can be very healing and helpful for a lot of people. Sometimes I find that, for myself at least, and from some other people that I've spoken with, sometimes journaling is better than saying traumatic things out loud that have happened to you, or regurgitating that stuff out loud, or dealing with things that are complicated or difficult for you to talk about out loud, because it almost like there's something about talking about it that doesn't necessarily work for everyone. So writing it down kind of has a totally different feel, a totally different vibe, and it feels like you're getting it out of your body. So that was the download that I got for that. So before we get in with the tarot, let's quickly shift to the animal spirit guides real quick. I want to look up buck and eel and see what they have to say. I'm using the animal spirit guides book, if you're interested in that. I might start leaving books or tarot decks that I'm using down at the bottom underneath each video. It just depends. If that's interesting to you, definitely let me know in the comments. All right, we're gonna look up buck first. I don't know why I'm having a hard time finding this. Oh, it's a stag, not a buck. I calling it a buck, but I think it's the actual terminology is a stag. That's what I saw in my head. Okay, so there's an opportunity to release something that no longer fits your life. So that room will be made for the new that's ready to be birthed and appear. This is particularly intuitive time. So pay close attention to information that comes through psychically. You'll soon be invited to go on an adventure that will be fun and challenging at times, yet ultimately rewarding, as it will deepen your spirituality in ways you never expected. Surrender and allow the movement of life to move you and express through you in new and creative ways that will manifest in third dimensional reality. You'll soon have an experience with the fairy realm and spirits of the forest. That sounds cool. This is a time when your masculine self or side is in strong expression, so you'll be feeling especially viral and powerful. That's interesting. That's like, I know that it can be, the stag is sometimes symbolism for the horned god in the witchy culture. So you might want to do some extra research into that if that is interesting to you. And then we have the eel. So let's look up eel. Eel. Others, both male and female, will be increasingly attracted to you, and some of this attraction will be sexual. Take several classes in Kundalini yoga and continue the practice at home. You're going to embark on a spiritual pilgrimage in the near future, one that will so profoundly alter your senses of who you are that others may not recognize you. You'll soon get to the bottom of a question or puzzle that's been bothering you. So again, that seems like kind of tied in with the stag in the idea of a spiritual pilgrimage, and also the idea of, I know that the stag was talking about an adventure. You might be getting ready to like go on an adventure, it's the middle of summer. A lot of people are going on vacation and doing fun things. So maybe you're going to gain some spiritual knowledge by doing that. So basically just be in tune with nature and allowing yourself to get grounded while you're doing that, so that you can experience any intuitive hits that are coming in. Like it was saying with the stag, sometimes the horns can represent intuition coming in, like through the horns, like that wisdom that I was talking about sometimes is intuitive, like feelings that you're getting from your higher self, essentially. So I'm going to quickly do a little bit of cleansing before we start. Okay. So while I am pulling your cards for you, we are going to be pulling cards from the Green Witch Tarot deck. And then at the end, I'm probably going to pull at least one card from an Oracle deck. And if we need to pull any extra tarot cards for clarification with my Crow deck, then we will do that if I feel necessary. Ooh, okay. Also, I want to say, if this resonates with you, I would love for you to subscribe. Like I said, this is a brand new channel. So I would love to start creating community here. This is a safe space for people. And I will be keeping that intact. So if you have the feeling or the urge to be not so nice, again, I would caution against that, because they're just going to get deleted. We don't have time for that on this channel. So, this is a drama-free zone. That being said, if you feel connected to this in any way, or this resonates with you and you want to stick around, I would love to have a like, share, or subscribe from you. That would be amazing. Getting some really cool cards. And letting me know that it resonated, letting me know that something made sense to you in this reading would be really helpful to me, because it lets me know that I'm connecting with people. So, also, I am an intuitive reader, and what that means is I pull cards until it doesn't make sense anymore. In other words, like, I get an intuitive hit when to stop. That usually looks like about 8 to 10 cards typically. Sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little less. And I don't have like a specific, I don't do like a Celtic cross or anything like that. I just go intuitively until I feel like I'm supposed to stop. I pull all the cards first, and then we delve in. And I do pop outs. I pull pop outs. So whenever they pop out, I go with that. Sometimes they come flying out, a bunch of them at one time, and then I just use my instinct to kind of pull what I feel needs to, if, for instance, a bunch of them come out and only 1 or 2 are flipped right side up, then it feels like it's probably those 2. It's interesting that I'm only getting 3 cards for you, I should say. As I say that. I feel like every time I say that. Okay. I feel like the 5 makes sense at the top, so we're going to move on to the second row. I feel like for all of the signs so far for July, I've been feeling the need to do 2 rows. For me, the bottom row right now seems like it's kind of like your baseline energy. And, ooh, okay. And then, so it's kind of like what you're building on. And then the top row is kind of like the overall vibe, if that makes sense. Yay, we're finally getting some stuff. A lot of earth energy. I'm happy to see that. Oh, that's a lot of cards. Okay. I don't know that all of these are supposed to be. I'm gonna put these back because this feels a little like that's a lot of cards. So I'm gonna go, but I do feel like there's supposed to be at least 1 or 2 more. Okay. Awesome. Anything else? Okay. I haven't done this so far with any of the other signs, but I'm feeling the need to put a card at the bottom. There it is. Okay. Awesome. More earth energy. Okay. Let's get into it. I love how like we started with only 3 and then all of a sudden all of them came out at once. They just needed to collect and compile. Sorry if it looks like I am sweating, because I am. I turned off the AC so it's not annoying, but it is warm in here. I live in LA today. It's only in the 80s, but it's pretty warm in here right now, so you might be seeing some sweat. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, so the first card I'm gonna do, sometimes I'll start with the top card or the bottom card. I'm gonna do the middle first, then we'll do the top, and then finally we'll do the bottom. It changes. Again, I'm going with intuition. So we're gonna start with the 6 of Wands. So the 6 of Wands is all about a victory. You're having some sort of victory right now. And people, as you can see, all these people around him are kind of like celebrating him. There's something good going on in your life, something you worked hard for that you're accomplishing in the month of July. So this is a sign that to keep going, because you will have your victory and people will be celebrating you. Sometimes this card can also be people that might be, sometimes when we're doing well and someone's not doing so well, they have a tendency to get jealous or feel very uncomfortable by you doing well and them not doing so well. So keep in mind that that could be a thing, but as long as you're focused on what's going on with you and not letting outside influence infiltrate that, you should be fine. This is a really positive card, so that's really great to see that as your first card coming out. Your second card is the 7 of Wands. Again, these were very well shuffled before we started, so it's kind of cool that you're going from the 6 to the 7. So in this particular deck, this 7 of Wands is, this woman is putting up sticks, obviously, on the wall. She's doing something unique, but it's working. And so the typical message for this particular card is, something that you're doing makes sense for you, but might not necessarily make sense for other people if they did it the same way you're doing it. And the way other people do things is not the way you would do them, but the way that you're doing them for yourself is working for you. Does that make sense? So again, with the Six of Wands, keep going because you're finding a victory and what you're doing is working. So just keep moving, keep on going. She's clearly very happy in this picture. She's figuring it out. She's meeting challenges where they are and she's just figuring it out as she goes. Okay? The cool thing is the next card, and that's what I'm saying, you've got great cards. There's only one card that has some heavy energy, but the rest of it is really great cards. The next one is the Harvest, okay? So I don't remember what this ties in with in the main tarot. I want to say, I'm not sure, but for this particular card, we're about to enter into the harvest season, which usually starts in August for most witches or anybody who is on who focuses on the wheel of the year. This is all about you starting to receive the harvest. So any hard work you've been doing so far leading up to this point, leading up to July, you're starting to see the fruits of your labor paying off. Okay, so again, I keep saying it, but I'm getting the feeling to like keep going. Sometimes it's the hardest just before you, because you've been going for so long, and there's this like feeling sometimes to like, oh my God, I gotta take a break. And taking a break is great, but don't let a break turn into a slog and then that slows you down and then you just don't finish the thing. Keep going because you're right on the precipice of a harvest, okay? So be mindful of that when you start to get tired. Obviously, take breaks, take care of yourself. Don't go past your boundaries for yourself, but you're on your way to a harvest. So keep going, okay? Try to give yourself a pat on the back. Next one is the Wheel of the Year, as we were just talking about. It's interesting because the witches just celebrated Litha, which is the summer solstice, i.e. Midsummer for us. And so this is like depicting the wheels of the year. In the normal tarot, this is the Wheel of Fortune. So you could be having an upswing of really good energy coming. If this was in the reverse, I would say it's the opposite. You've had things going really well and you're about to maybe see things start to slow down or kind of go in a different direction that might not be the best. But because this was in the right side up position, this lets me know that you're about to receive a cycle, usually typically about 6 months, sometimes a little less or more, of really good vibes coming in, good things happening, okay? I think it's also interesting that you get the harvest card first because we're about to go into harvest season. You've been busting your butt, it seems like, and now you're about to receive all the good stuff. For the next 6 months, things are looking pretty good for you. Obviously, things are crazy out in the world, but it seems like for you at least, you're finding bounty with the things that you're doing. So keep it up. You're doing a great job. The next one that you have is the Five of Athames. In this particular deck, this gentleman here, this man who kind of looks like a king, he is looking at these swords. He doesn't really have a very good judgment on how to create the sword, how to make the sword, what it took to craft the sword. And in that way, he doesn't appreciate the hard work and dedication that went into it. So sometimes this is a signification that your boss or a higher up may not understand the level of craftsmanship that you have put into something and dedication you've put into something. So this is a sign to remind yourself that you don't need external validation to understand that you're doing a good job and what you're creating is art, okay? And it doesn't have to be literal art, okay? It could be your craft, whatever it is that you're personally working on, okay? You're really, really good at what you're doing. So having self-confidence is the main thing with this card. Not letting higher ups or other people break you down and tell you that, you know, like devalue your work. In other words, you might not be getting paid the appropriate amount for what you should be. So that might be something else to consider as well, because sometimes this card can mean that. Okay, so keep that in mind going forward. So that is your top row. Not your top row, but your top row. You guys have the most amount of cards that have come out so far for all the signs. You guys are the 7th sign I've done. So the first one in the bottom is the Knight of Cups. So a lot of times this card is an indication of someone who comes in hot and heavy. This could be a love relationship. This could just be someone that you really care about, that you have a lot of feelings for. Or it might be someone that you barely know, but they're coming in really hot and heavy in the beginning and then kind of backing off. Like they come in like they're gangbusters and they want to, you know, shower you with love. But ultimately it could be a very shallow kind of feeling. So if someone is coming across to you like over the top and your intuition is kind of going like, I have not done anything to deserve this, be wary of that, because this is kind of like some energy that's coming in. It's funny because so far everybody else, all the other signs that I've done, this top row has felt more like the building up over on top of the baseline that's underneath, like I said before. But for you, it feels like this bottom row is more underlying energies, hidden energies. That's what we're going to say for now. So the top energy is what you're seeing like outward in the world, in the physical world. And then the underneath, which this is the first card of the underneath, is kind of the underlying energies that aren't necessarily as easy to spot in the real world, but it's just for something for you to be aware of. So I wouldn't say this is trickster energy, because it does give me the feeling that they do care. They are excited to give you whatever it is they're giving you, but it might be very short-lived and it could be kind of shallow. So just be mindful of that, okay? The next card you have is the 6 of Chalices, or the 6 of Cups in the normal tarot. So in this card is usually, a lot of tarot readers say that this card is representation of someone from your past coming back. It could be that. I think more often than not, though, it's usually an indication that you're looking back on and reminiscing about an old time, about things that have passed. While that is a great thing to do sometimes, I think it's always good to like look at where you've come so that you know where you're headed. Getting stuck in that energy sometimes can not allow you to see the bounty of what's going on right now, and not allow yourself to be in the present, okay? But this could just be an indication of someone from your past coming forward and exchanging a moment with you and having some fun with you. Somebody that's your childhood friend, or someone that you haven't seen in a while, and you're getting together in the month of July. So take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. Whatever makes sense to you, that's what I always recommend. This next card is the only card, I wouldn't say it's a bad card, it's just a heavy card, literally heavy. So this is the 10 of Wands, okay? So this is, she's carrying a heavy load and she's bringing it up to the top of this mountain, right? So the feeling that I get from this card, especially looking at the rest of your spread, is, again, you are at the precipice of getting your victory. Getting the victory we were talking about before, okay? Where everybody's like recognizing all the hard work you've done. You see the end of the tunnel, okay? You see the light at the top of the mountain. You're almost there, but it's getting real hard, okay? So your load is heavy. You're going through a lot, but what's on the other side of that card is the Queen of Pentacles, okay? So the Queen of Pentacles, she's got everything that she could need financially. She's got everything she could need to feel stable and secure. She's got all these little nuts in this little basket, and she's got her pentacle. She's just relaxing under this tree. She's enjoying life right now. So what it's telling me is that if you can get through this 10 of Wands and not give up and keep moving forward, like we were saying before, you will have your Queen of Pentacles. You will have your harvest, okay? I think it's also interesting that if I could point you down, I don't know if you can see this, your harvest is on the top of your 10 of Wands. So literally your movement through this energy will give you your harvest, which is, again, correlated back to your Queen of Pentacles. Your bottom card too represents that too, but we'll get to that in a second. The other really amazing card that you got, the last one in the bottom row, underlying energies, is the 10 of Pentacles, okay? This can usually mean leaving a legacy, family dynamics. Everything is going well financially. Everything is stable. You're feeling a sense of groundedness. It's great to see all of the pentacle energy, which is your energy. It's very earthy. And this is the peak of that. This is the peak of stability. It's the peak of legacy. It's the peak of receiving, all of the good stuff, all of the stability and financial fortitude. Okay. So the fact that you have your 10 of Wands and then the next two cards are the Queen of Pentacles and then the 10 of Pentacles is telling me that, again, you are right on the edge of receiving all of the things that you have been wanting and been striving for, but it's getting hard and you just got to keep going. You're so close. So just keep moving. And I promise you it will work out if you just keep moving forward. Obviously, take breaks, take care of yourself, take it or leave it. Do it in your own way. Okay. I'm just supposed to be a lighthouse to send you all the good vibes and to help empower you. Ultimately, take it or leave it. This is up to you completely. I don't want you to burn yourself out and then be like, Ace, why did you tell me to keep going? Because now I'm so burnt out and I can't do it. No. That's not what I'm saying. Do it in your own pace. Do it at your own time. Take care of yourself. But you're so close. You're so close to the finish line, okay? So just keep going, and then you will have your 10 of Pentacles. Last but not least, we have your bottom card and your top card. I'm going to start with, I think I'm going to start with the bottom card. So the bottom card is really cool, and it kind of sums up everything, which is usually what the cards at the top do, but I feel like this is the base energy. So rather than this bottom line being your base, this feels like your base for me. This feels like underlying energy, and this is your base card. So your base card is the 3 of Pentacles. In this particular deck, this gentleman in the middle here is surrounded by these stones, and this older gentleman is handing him his instrument. This is showing me that you've gone from apprentice, which we were kind of talking about with the 5 of Swords, going from the apprentice and creating value that maybe someone hasn't recognized to someone finally recognizing it, because you are showing up every day, you're giving it your all, and things are working out. And him receiving the instrument in this card is him moving to the next level in his business, moving to the next level in his craft. So you might start to notice that you don't feel like a noob anymore with what you're doing. You know what you're doing, or you have been in this energy for a long time, but you kind of needed that recognition. This to me tells me that you're receiving that in the month of July. So because again, this is at the bottom of everything, this kind of tells me that it's funneling to this point. Okay. So that's a great sign. The top two make a lot of sense too, honestly. You have the 3 of Cups and you have the Crone. So the 3 of Cups is a celebration. It's celebration with people that you love, celebration with people that matter to you in your life. And it can also be a symbolism in the witchy community for the maiden, the mother, and the crone. So it's the 3 phases of the moon. And it's basically a cycle. It's the cycles of the moon. So the waxing phase, the full moon phase, and then the waning phase. You've gone through an entire cycle and now you're celebrating. Okay. So that's a great card. That's the overall energy. It seems like, for me, it tells me that July could be a very celebratory month for you. You could be doing a lot of fun stuff with people that you really care about. And the last card it's kind of tying back with this whole 10 of Wands energy, the crone. Okay, so the crone is the final stage in the moon phase. She represents the waning part of the dark part of the moon cycle. And she is the end of the cycle just before the rebirth, right? So this particular deck, it is the crone. In the normal tarot, it's the strength card, which tells me that if you can keep the strength, you can take care of yourself and continue to put one foot in front of the other, you will have your 3 of Cups, you will have your victory, you'll have your harvest, you'll have your 10 of Pentacles, you'll have your Queen of Pentacles. You'll be sitting at, by the end of this month, you will be a happy kid, okay? So if you can maintain the energy and fight like the lion, but also find balance with the crone and take it at your own pace, I think you're going to have a really amazing month. Honestly, like I said, like this is a great spread. I would love to have this spread. So it looks like a really great month for you guys, honestly. We already did, normally I do some bibliomancy with the animal spirit guides, but because you had 2 animals come in the beginning, I think that we're good there. I definitely feel like the stag is a representation of you being in your masculine, which is this like, doesn't matter if you're male, female, non-binary. It just is the energy of the masculine, which is the doing. Okay. That's the way that I interpret it anyway. I don't like using, but it's a way to explain it, right? So it seems very much like you're in your stag energy. It's funny that you got earth and then you got the eel, which is water. So it's like, as long as you're taking care of your emotional state, your watery state, okay, you can have this masculine go-getter energy to push you through to that final reward at the end, okay? Because we already did the animal spirit guides, I'm going to pull a card. I'm feeling drawn because you got 2 animals. I haven't pulled from this deck yet for anybody. Even though you have 2 animals, I'm feeling like I want to pull from my Wild Unknown animal deck. Because it feels right. And I need to grab the book for this. Forgot to grab it before. So I'm going to pull a card from this to kind of wrap it up to see if the animals want to say anything more to kind of help you on this journey. It seems like a really exciting month for you, to be honest. Ooh, you got the sea serpent. That's cool. That's a cool card. It's interesting that you got the eel and then you got the sea serpent, and it's kind of like the snake eating its tail, which is a representation of the cycle that we were kind of talking about a little bit ago. And because you got the wheel of the year earlier and we were talking about cycles too, it feels very much the same kind of energy, okay? You're finishing and wrapping up the loose ends of a previous cycle, and you're about to begin the new. Let's see what the sea serpent has to say. So this is the animal spirit, the Wild Unknown animal spirit. I believe it's an oracle. It doesn't say, but it's pretty much an oracle. It's not a tarot deck, so. Sea serpent. I think this is one of the ones that's in the back because it's not even under one of the... Yeah, sea serpent. Okay, cool. So, healing emotional wounds and expressing desire. The sea serpent represents the energy of expression, whether it's emotion, creativity, sensuality, or desire. The sea serpent helps us move and direct our energy into a healthy current. When the essence of this card is in balance, we express ourselves creatively and sexually without fear or shame. We know what we desire most. Our hearts are at ease, and our relationships are meaningful and enduring. We loosen the grip of self-judgment, and we let the cool waters of forgiveness in to heal our wounds. When the energy of the sea serpent is not yet activated, our emotions and creativity are left in the muddy waters. The current of expression stagnates in some areas of our lives, and in other places it floods. It's important to remember, no matter what the waters of our emotional lives look like, the sea serpent loves us just the same. Like a mother, she wraps herself around us in a gesture of protection. She supports us as we learn to express our true natures. I love this little guy at the end too. He's around this little star. Okay, it's really adorable. So that to me, again, feels like what I was kind of saying before. You want to find your strength, but finding the balance between this like earth and water energy, working through your emotions as they're coming up, because this is getting kind of tough right now. There's a lot of sexual energy going on as well. So you might be feeling a little spicy this month. But it seems more to me like you're finding your truth through some sort of healing emotionally through your water energy, even though you're an earth sign. And that's going to help you stand in that like stag, you know, strength to like brute force your way within reason, to the finish line. Okay. So keep that in mind when things start to get hard. Like I keep saying, you're right there. You just got to keep on going. You're right there. You're doing so well. Okay. So keep that up. You're doing it. All right, guys, I think that is where I'm going to leave it for you. Right now, I'm planning on just doing monthlies, but I'm experimenting with potentially doing some dailies for you guys in short form on YouTube, here on YouTube. And I might be starting some social soon too. I'm trying to get everything up and running. My main goal right now is to get these first monthlies out. And I can guarantee that you'll get at least a monthly each month right now. And I will be working towards getting more stuff out, potentially bi-monthlies, potentially weeklies eventually, but we'll see how long it takes for me to like get in the flow of doing this. So this is all new to me. I'm used to doing YouTube videos for my music channel. I'm not used to doing it like this. So it's on another level. So if you enjoyed this reading or resonated with you, I would love to have you come back and be a misfit. I would love to hear from you in the comments if this resonated. Maybe give me a like if you like this video. And I will see you next month for August. All right, Virgo. I'll talk to you later.